Good day, everyone. I am Kriza Faye Calumba, an assistant professor in food science and chemistry at the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, and co-owner of the Tea Culture PH. Thank you very much to the Institute of Fish Processing Technology, College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences of the UP Visayas, and Dr. Rhoda Simora, a fellow Fulbright Shed alumna, for inviting me. It is an honor to give this talk about probiotics in beer and milk tea, challenges and opportunities. Let me begin with this quote. On victory, you deserve beer. In defeat, you need it. Perhaps a lot of us can relate to this. In college, pagbagsak sa exam, tara beer. Pagpasa naman, tara beer pa rin. In successes and failures, beer was always there for the beer lovers. According to this source, as of 2018, Asia is the largest beer consuming region in the world, followed by Europe, Central and South America, North America, Africa, Oceania, and the Middle East. Also, the Philippines ranks 17th in terms of total beer consumption globally. Currently, the beer market remains very huge. We know beer, and some of us have been drinking beer. But what exactly is beer? According to the German beer law, beer is made of only four main ingredients: malt, hops, water, and yeast. Malts are made from selected cereal grains, usually barley. Malt is the source of sugar during beer brewing to produce the alcohol and carbonation that we enjoy. Hops. These are flowers that are added for the typical beer bitterness and flavor. Water. This is used throughout the brewing process, from malting until fermentation. And yeast. This is the microorganism that is responsible for the production of alcohol and carbon dioxide from fermentable sugars. Beer making is a complex process, and there are different types of beer available in the market depending on one's preference. Beer has also been around since centuries ago, and the history of beer brewing is a story of the people. Two types of beer based on the yeast used are ale and lager, with ale beer fermented with top fermenting yeast such as Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and lager beer fermented with bottom fermenting yeast such as Saccharomyces pastorianus. Ale beer is also fermented at a higher temperature and shorter period than lager. Examples of ale beer include the IPA or Indian Pale Ale, Stout, and Porter. Lagers include Pilsner and Oktoberfest, to name a few. In the Philippines, the beer commonly consumed by the drinking population is pale lager. Interestingly, craft beers are also gaining popularity. Now let us go to milk tea. How addicted are we to milk tea? Just a brief history: milk tea or bubble tea or pearl milk tea originated in Taiwan. The bubble first referred to the foam created by shaking the tea, but now this definition has evolved into referring to the chewy tapioca starch balls. At present, the milk tea industry is already very big. It saw a 3,000% increase in 2018 alone. Philippines is the second largest market in the entire Southeast Asia. And according to this figure, every Filipino consumer drinks 5 cups of milk tea on average per month. So what are in milk tea? In milk tea, we normally use black tea, but you can also use a green tea. Then there is milk. There is also an option for non-dairy milk. And then you have the bubbles or the tapioca starch balls. And then the sugar, which you may adjust depending on your preference. Now, the question is, can we make beer and milk tea healthier? There has been an increasing interest in healthier food products in view of the pandemic. With this, probiotics are becoming more in demand. And this is the focus of this talk: the novel applications of probiotics in beer and milk tea. This slide was lifted from the IFT Brain Food blog on the 9 food trends to watch for in 2021. The global probiotics market has increased significantly, and the market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 9.7%. In 2025, the projected sales will reach 152 billion US dollars. So what are probiotics? Probiotics are defined by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the World Health Organization as live microorganisms, which, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. These are commonly called the good bacteria, but probiotics may also include yeast. It has been reported that consuming probiotics has beneficial effects on human health, such as the following. Probiotics are widely reported to prevent gastrointestinal diseases, improve tolerance to lactose, and reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. There are also recent developments in probiotic research, and studies show that modifying the composition of the microbiota through probiotics can treat depression. So, based on these studies, probiotics may decrease anxiety and psychological distress. They can act as a potential antidepressant, and they can even improve skin health. The common probiotic bacteria belong to the genus Lactobacillus. Lactobacilli are normally involved in food preparations, such as here in this photo, we have pickles, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, fermented beets, and I believe this is kefir. Probiotic lactobacilli are rod-shaped gram-positive bacteria as shown in this micrograph. So I got the chance to experience the wonders of probiotic bacteria when I went to Louisiana State University for my master's under a Fulbright CHED scholarship. My project was on ale beer with probiotics immobilized in durian rind powder. I was in the US from 2017 to 2019. So, how did this project come to be? At present, while most probiotic products available in the market are dairy, new matrices for probiotics are being investigated. One possible probiotic drink is beer, which is the most consumed alcoholic drink globally, and the third most popular drink after water and tea. Beer with probiotics could be attractive to health conscious beer consumers. However, the alcohol and the hops may reduce the possibility of probiotics surviving in the beer. So, there is a need to provide support for the probiotic bacteria. In this study, I used the rind of durian. I chose durian because it is one of the most highly valued fruits produced widely in Southeast Asia, such as in the Philippines. My region, the Davao region, is the center of durian production in the country. Only one third of durian is edible, and the rind typically weighs more than half of the total fruit weight. The common practice today is burning durian residues or sending them to landfills. So, durian rind or peel is currently not utilized. And this research was done to possibly add economic value to the rind. The powder produced from the rind contains large amounts of fiber, that's around 17%, which we found in this study, and this may protect the probiotics in the beer. So, this is also according to the results of similar studies in the past. This study used ale beer. In summary, free cells of Lactobacillus brevis, the strain that we used in the study, were added to beer. In another setup, bacteria that were immobilized or protected with durian rind powder were separately added to beer. The target parameters, which were the physicochemical characteristics, the viability during ambient storage, the viability after exposure to simulated gastric and intestinal conditions, and the microbial diversity at ambient storage were then measured. The results showed that the durian rind powder had 5.10% protein, 0.4% fat, 6.62% ash, 3.04% moisture, and 84.84% carbohydrates, 17.17% of which was crude fiber. So, this high amount of crude fiber must have been responsible for the protective effect of the durian rind powder for the probiotic bacteria. This is a scanning electron micrograph of the probiotics on the durian rind powder. So we saw that the Lactobacillus brevis cells randomly attached to the surface of the powder. So we can see that in these SEM or scanning electron micrographs. The beer that we produced also had 4.39% alcohol and a pH of 4.4. In general, the addition of durian rind powder did not have a significant effect on the physicochemical properties of the beer. So we also measured the titratable acidity in terms of lactic acid, as well as the specific gravity and the carbonation level. So, did the probiotics survive? Based on our study, free and immobilized cells survived over 24 days. So, at the end of 24 days, the counts were approximately 5 log colony forming units per ml of beer. Durian rind powder was able to confer protection to the probiotic bacteria up to 12 days of storage at ambient temperature. So we used 21 degrees Celsius. And the probiotic survived in simulated gastric and intestinal conditions. So, this study shows that ale beer containing free Lactobacillus brevis and immobilized cells in durian rind powder has potential as a delivery system for probiotics. So, what were the challenges that I encountered? First, it takes time for a concept to work. I was there for only 2 years, and I must say that the topic was not easy. I did preliminary experiments on commercial beer, and the strains did not show any sign of growth or survival at all. So we had to play around with the ingredients to come up with a formulation that would make the probiotics survive. Of course, my lab mates were very helpful as the microbiological work done was labor intensive and time consuming. Second, researchers get mentally, physically, and emotionally drained. Doing research is not easy. The researchers listening here today know that. Despite the challenges, what keeps us going is the desire to contribute to the improvement of the quality of life through research. I would like to acknowledge as well those who helped in this study, my major advisor, Dr. Subramaniam Sativel, my graduate committee, Dr. Janes and Dr. Bankston. Of course, the Fulbright Shed Philippines for giving me this opportunity to pursue my master's at LSU, Miss Tamara, and of course, the Food Engineering and Bioprocessing Lab Group. This study was also featured in several news articles. This actually started because a fellow Fulbright Shed alumnus, Dr. Christian Pascual from the University of the Cordilleras, invited me to give a talk or to be a guest in their tech talk. So this was a YouTube channel intended to promote the field of criminology. So it was this poster that started it all, and then several reporters found interest in the study. So this was featured in local and international websites, right? Manila Bulletin, ABS-CBN, and also the South China Morning Post. Recently, we were able to publish this paper. The title is Ale Beer Containing Free and Immobilized Lactobacillus brevis, a potential delivery system for probiotics. So this was published in the Food Production, Processing, and Nutrition Journal. So what's next? I returned to the Philippines in 2019. And since then, I've had these realizations. The world needs impactful food innovations during trying times like this pandemic. And with enhanced knowledge and skills, we have to challenge ourselves to go beyond our comfort zone. So, upon my return to the country, my interest in probiotics has always been there. So, just last year, the tea culture PH was born. There is an increasing consumption of milk tea among Filipinos, and we saw this as a chance to introduce a healthier option. In this case, with the use of yogurt as the main ingredient to potentially help boost immunity, especially during a health crisis. With knowledge and training in food science and sales, my business partner is on sales, the Tea Culture PH came to be. At the Tea Culture PH, our mission is to let the customers experience culture with a novel, healthy, and memorable yogurt milk tea while supporting some locally produced ingredients and giving back to the community. With the values of integrity, passion, resilience, and upholding social responsibility guiding us, we are working every day toward achieving these goals. Right now, we have two locations. The main branch is in Davao City. This branch was opened last August 2020. And just this March, we opened another branch in Tagum City, Davao del Norte. I am a full-time teacher, and my business partner, Miss Josie Gilabtan, is also a real estate broker, working full-time. The partnership was ideated early last year, and while our plans were halted by the pandemic, we reassessed our personal goals, so we agreed to push through with this venture. Our milk tea uses real yogurt that is sourced from the culture spoon, which is lovingly prepared by a fellow food scientist, Miss Mylene Arsena. We decided to tap her expertise because we saw a very high potential in her product. At present, Mylene is working also as a full-time instructor. The name, the Tea Culture PH, expounds on two things. First, the Filipino culture manifesting increasing love for milk tea. Second, the microbial culture involved, as the drink is made of yogurt produced using live bacteria that proliferate in culture. This is the photo of our prototype. To note, our first sensory panelists were our dear families and friends. We then scouted for staff who can commit full time. The staff were then given a lecture and training about food safety and product quality, as we believe that we have to invest in knowledgeable, skilled, honest, and resilient people. While we were starting, we also wanted to educate the people about our product, what probiotics are, and what yogurt is. Communicating the science behind food is, for us, one way of giving back to the community. So these are just some of the posters that we launched through our social media. So we have this informative poster on probiotics. So at the Tea Culture PH, you will gain some probiotic experience in a cup of our yogurt milk tea. We also gave some facts about yogurt, what what bacteria are present in yogurt, and these are backed up by studies. So here we included this statement that eating yogurt daily was shown to reduce inflammation in overweight people. We also have featured flavors such as the signature yogurt pearl milk tea. So this gives this addictive yogurt and tea combination, and research has shown that tea yogurt has a high antioxidant activity and it allowed better probiotic survival. So these are just some of the ways we would like to communicate the science of our products to the public. For those who are conscious about their sugar levels, we also did a little experiment and we found that the sugar content of our milk tea decreased upon mixing with the yogurt. So this shows how alive the probiotics are. Right now, this is our menu. So we offer these yogurt milk tea flavors. We have the signature yogurt pearl milk tea. This is made of just plain unsweetened yogurt and milk tea. And of course, you may include pearls, the tapioca starch balls, or you may opt for other sinkers like nata de coco or coffee jelly. We also have cacao, and of course, part of our mission is to support locally produced ingredients. So we source our cacao from local farmers. We have local producers of the cacao that we use in our milk tea. We also have mango, apple cinnamon, pineapple, banana, cacao banana, and durian. So as you notice, these are not typical milk tea flavors. So we want to introduce something new, at the same time healthier options to the milk tea consumers. We also offer snacks. We have this chicken tortilla wrap, which is made of malunggay tortilla. And we also have a pita meal with hummus and yogurt sauce. We also offer loyalty cards for our loyal and repeat customers. We also got featured in the news. This was an interview conducted by GMA just a day before our grand opening in our Davao City branch. And there is also an article in Manila Bulletin and the Sunstar. I have to say though that it has never been easy. There are several challenges that we are encountering as entrepreneurs. First, you will be challenged financially. You will have to properly budget your finances and you must have control over the cash flow. This also entails patience as no return on investment or ROI comes easy. There are good days and bad days. So we always have to look at the bigger picture. Second, you need to balance your time and responsibilities better. This is especially challenging if you have a full-time job. Handling a business while working as a full time professor with teaching and research responsibilities has taught me important life lessons that are continuously making me sharper and wiser. Also, others may bring you down, but do not lose focus. Learn to welcome criticisms because you will always get criticisms. Use these to improve your product and your services. Acknowledge all feedback, but focus your energy on the positive ones because these will keep you going. And managing a business entails patience, sacrifices, and double the motivation. It was also not easy to start a food business at the height of the pandemic. Several reports have stated how businesses have closed down and are devastated due to limited mobility. This taught us to strategize. Right now, we are open for dine in. This is in our Davao branch, pick up and delivery for both branches because we have to adhere to the quarantine protocols. With food delivery as the main mode of getting food nowadays, it also took some time for us to determine which methods work best. Being an entrepreneur also teaches you how to deal with money, people, and of course yourself. It is important again to keep track of all sales and expenses every day. Second, handling employees, customers, and suppliers, it's a different responsibility. And you will experience unimaginable physical, mental, and emotional stress, just like when doing research. But always remember why you started the business in the first place. Always focus on progress and prioritize self care. Despite these challenges, there are several opportunities in probiotic yogurt milk tea. Consumers nowadays are more interested in healthier food or food that boosts the immune system. So, this is an opportunity to introduce a healthier option to milk tea enthusiasts, especially during a pandemic. Also, as almost everyone is on social media, we can use these technological advancements for marketing and for advancing our advocacy in communicating science to the general public. The COVID 19 pandemic has also uplifted, I hope, the role that research plays in society. Food innovations like this increase the appreciation of the general public for food science and food scientists. Therefore, we can persistently challenge food scientists to continuously innovate healthier, safer, and more sustainable food products. Now, in the time of COVID, how relevant are probiotics? Studies show that COVID patients had imbalance in their intestinal microbiota. And probiotics can restore the gut microbiota and improve resistance to virus. They can also prevent respiratory infections and stimulate immunity. Therefore, perhaps it is time to rethink the food that we eat and go for those that may have benefits on our body. May it be yogurt, beer, or even milk tea. Let me end with this quote from the novelist Rosa Gray: "Do it with passion or not at all." Whatever we choose to do, whatever dream or advocacy we want to pursue, let us remember to do it with passion. Find what you are passionate about and work on it one step at a time. Thank you once again to the Institute of Fish Processing Technology, College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences of the University of the Philippines Visayas for this opportunity. Make sure to follow our Facebook and Instagram pages. Feel free to connect with us and try our product for those who haven't yet. Again, this is Kriza Calumba. Thank you very much, and it is my pleasure to talk to you about probiotics in beer and milk tea, challenges and opportunities.